Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight he's a firefighter, an actor, and also a Santa. Let's welcome Santa Dave Saunders. How's it going?
Appreciate it. How you doing?
Man, can I get a ho, ho, ho?
Oh, oh, oh. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, good. Thank you for coming out of your busy schedule to come on. So you were a firefighter for 27 years.
I am. I'm still a career firefighter. Yes, sir.
Tell me, do you have like a one story in your career that just sticks with you of all your firefighting adventures?
Well, I mean, gosh, there are a lot that keep me up at night. But I mean, the fire department's a great thing. There are probably two or three that I can remember the most. But I worked 5 years before I went to the department I work for now. But when I was a rookie in the department I work for now, 9/11 hit. And so we went to the Pentagon. So that probably, along with a couple other little things, sticks with me the most, that we actually responded to the Pentagon and were there,
That had been interesting to be at the Pentagon during the whole 9/11 thing. Was everybody like on high alert?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was crazy, especially at the Pentagon. It was insane high security. I mean, it was like the interstate. Where I work, the interstates are crazy busy. And, I mean, there was no one on the road. It was lockdown, it was shut down. It was insane.
I bet it was. So, since you're a firefighter, what got you into acting?
So, a couple of things. So, when, a few years after my son and I started our Santa business, we got lucky and got asked to do a couple local commercials. We did a couple ads, and then kind of a big music video for like a mega church. So that was kind of cool, and I got the bug. And ironically, one of my best friends at work owns a production company. He's an indie filmmaker. And we talked. I mean, I met him. I was teaching his recruit school, and I met him there. And he was a former arena football player, and he joined the fire department. And so I worked with him one day, and we sat and talked. And he was like, yeah, I make movies. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I write movies. I make movies. And so I started talking to him about what I do. And he's like, man, we have to hook up. So he posted about a movie he was making called Necropolis. And it's a zombie apocalypse movie. It's awesome. And Noel G was in it, and a lot of good people. And, so he gave me a part. I auditioned, and he gave me a part. And it was just awesome. I got the bug right there. So since then, I've done, I guess, 7 films. So a couple more in the reel going here. So
that's pretty good. How you became Santa? Can you tell me the origin story? How you became Santa and how your son was your elf?
I can. Yeah, I will. So, like I was telling you earlier, I actually owe my entire business and everything I'm doing to my son Hunter, who is actually 20 years old now. But when he was 6, I mean, he and my other son Austin are my best friends, and Hunter he started going deaf in his left ear, and we couldn't figure out why. The doctors couldn't figure out why, but we spent a lot of time at Children's Hospital getting all these tests and all these surgeries. We finally figured it out. It was called a cholesteatoma, and what that is like a benign tumor, but it just keeps growing and wrapping itself around the eardrum, and it can grow and it just keeps growing like around the spinal cord or into the brain. It's kind of crazy. But long story short, after several surgeries, they took his eardrum out, tried to rebuild it. They got the cholesteatoma out, and he did actually lose his hearing. And the cholesteatoma can come back, so we keep an eye on it. But anyway, after a long surgery, it was like literally a 10-hour surgery or so, we're in the elevator. I'll never forget it. He looks up at me, he just like snaps, and he's like, I've got it. And I'm like, what do you have, buddy? He's like, you could be Santa and I'll be your elf. And I was like, all right. I mean, that's cool if that's what you want to do. And he's like, yeah, that's how we can make these kids happy. Because every time we'd go to Children's Hospital, he would always say, what can we do to make these kids happy? I want to make these kids happy. And I'd always say, like, you think of it and we'll do it. So that's how the Santa business became. So he came up with a name, which is Santa Department 25, kind of like, fire department, and then 25 for Christmas, and came up with a website. And I sat at work one day and I just Googled all day. Like, it was kind of quiet, and like, how do you become Santa? How can you become Santa? So there, believe it or not, there's Santa schools everywhere. And I emailed people, I called people. One person called me back. And she was in Denver, Colorado. And, I talked to her for a couple of hours, and we set it up. And it took us a couple of years to get the money to go and set it up. But we went out there and went to Santa school, and kind of the rest is history. We set up a business, and it kind of took off. I'm really blessed.
That's pretty awesome. And then you played in some movies as Santa. You did a Lionsgate film. Can you tell me about the film through Lionsgate you did?
Yeah, I got really lucky, I guess. I'm blessed. Again, everything I've done is really just been hard work and a grind. I've worked really hard on my social media. I have everything, TikTok, YouTube. My Instagram's really blown up, which I'm really blessed. Facebook, of course. I'm even on Cameo, believe it or not. But backstage, of course, and I got a call one day from a gentleman, and we did a Zoom, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a Santa. I'm doing a movie," and he films in PA, which is close to where I live, and he's like, "I need a Santa Claus," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm in. I'd love to do it." We sat and talked about it, what he was looking for, and it just worked out. He's a great guy, and he's local. He's like an hour from me. And so it was awesome. The movie was called All I Want for Christmas. And I got to do the role with Sean Patrick Flannery, if you know who he is. He's been in a lot of things. Probably best known for Boondock Saints. He was in Powder when he was younger, but he's done, probably 60, 70 movies. So it was awesome. So I did All I Want for Christmas with him. And the first year it streamed on like Hulu Live, and then it was on Pluto, still on Pluto TV. So he calls me back the next year. He's like, "Hey, I'm doing another movie with Lionsgate. I want you in it. It's just more of a cameo, but I definitely want you in it." And I was like, "Man, I appreciate it. I'm in." So this one was called A Wonderful Time of the Year, and Tom Arnold was in it. So, and it was great. He held true to his word, kept me in his movies, and it was a great movie, and both the movies for Christmas were on Showtime, and I believe A Wonderful Time of the Year is actually still streaming on Showtime, and I know All I Want for Christmas is still on Pluto. So yeah, it's been great. He actually just sent me a script last week or a couple days ago, and we're going to start filming our third Christmas movie in May. So I can't really say much about it or who's in it, but it's a big name. I'm really excited. He's such a great guy. So easy to work with. So much fun. I've really branded myself. I definitely like reaching out and doing other roles, but Santa's my gig, and it's definitely fun, so it's really cool.
So what was it like to be on set with Tom Arnold?
So I have to be honest, I didn't get to meet him, but everybody says he's really funny. The movie was hilarious. But like I got to work with Flannery, and he was really nice to me. He was awesome. I had no issues, so it was really cool to work with him. But they said Arnold was really cool, really funny. So my part in the second movie was really just a cameo. The first one, I had a lot of lines and a pretty decent part, so I was really lucky. This one, the third one, I'll have a bigger part, so that'll be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Oh man, that's too cool.
Yeah.
So how much fun when the holiday season comes back around, when you go around as Santa Claus and do all the little kids get so excited around you?
Man, it's so cool. I love just making people happy. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you follow me on anything I do, like, you'll just see that I really try to post and boost just people just being nice to each other, just being kind and spread happiness and smile. And it's really cool, like at Christmas, just making kids smile. And even parents, you'd be surprised how many adults will come up to me like, man, that just took me back to my childhood. That was so fun. And it's been awesome I've had my business now for 10 years, watching children grow up. You know, I held them as babies, and now they're grown up, you know, and it's amazing. It's so much fun. I mean, I'm like a whole different person, obviously. I mean, you look at me now, like I'm in fireman mode, right? But I put that beard on, and I get dressed, and kids go nuts. It's awesome. And everything I do, like, I do mostly home visits. So you get quite a bit of time with me. You get all the photos you want, all the video you want. You just sit and make it a great time and a great experience. You know, it's really fun.
So, did you ever have the most memorable moment when you were doing home visits that still sticks to you of all the kids you visit at these home visits?
Oh, man, there's so many. But I'll tell you, this year, I was actually doing an event for a school. And they hit me up last minute, and they were just like, hey, we're having an event at the school. We just would like you to come be there for photos. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I had a free couple hours that night. And because I'm actually booked, like, I take off all of November, December from the firehouse, and I just do my Santa thing. So this little girl came up to me, and she was with her mom, and she handed me a note. She got a picture, and I always keep everything children give me. I have bags of stuff, and I read her letter, and I'm gonna be honest, I cried. Like, the letter was so sweet. This girl was like 7 years old, and it just was like, you know, dear Santa, all I want for Christmas is my mommy to be happy and not cry anymore. And long story short, I guess the mom had this dog for years, and it passed away, and her mom was like really sad and just like cried all the time. And that girl was just so nice. Like, you know, a lot of children, especially in this world, are like, oh, I want an iPad, I want this, I want that. But that girl was just, all she cared about was her mom being happy. It was the nicest, kindest thing that I had heard in so long. So it was really nice.
That's pretty awesome. Now let's talk about a horror film you're going to be in coming up called Skin Deep. And did you reach out to Alexander, or did Alexander reach out to you for this role? And in this role in Skin Deep, you're a firefighter, of course, in this horror film. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I don't know how much I can really get into, but yeah, he actually reached out to me, and it was great. I'm so glad he did. So he reached out to me, asked if I'd be interested, and it's funny, you know, we talked earlier, and then my wife's like, you don't even like horror films, and we were laughing, but I don't watch horror films. I get scared of my own shadow when a horror movie comes on, and my daughter's 11, she's like, yeah, I like to watch ghost movies, and you don't, you know, but he reached out to me, and we talked, and he told me about it, and it just sounded like something I thought would be really cool. I could relate to, especially, you know, being the firefighter and what the movie's going to progress into because of the instant, you know, what we're going to make of it. And so, yeah, we've become friends, and I just think we're going to work well together, and I think it's going to be a great movie, man. You know, how Eddie, the fireman, kind of becomes this individual, man. It's going to be awesome, I think. And yeah, I never thought I would ever do a horror movie, but I think it's going to make me reach, you know, a different level. It's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, he's a great dude. I'm so glad I met him, and we're going to get to work together. It's awesome because, you know, my dad's family is actually from out in Barberton, which is near Akron. So, you know, I'll make a few, you know, the trips out there, and then I'll get to see my family, though I don't get to see very often. So that's pretty cool.
That's
funny
pretty
how things work.
Yeah, that's pretty neat because you're going to be a firefighter, and when I was talking to Alexander, I had him on the show, you're going to be like all burnt up and messed up. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's funny because my best friend, Andre Berry, who I was telling you about, that I did Necropolis with, I mean, he's an amazing writer. This dude, he does amazing. Necropolis is going to go, it's going to be insane. But I introduced him to Alexander, and he's helping if they need some help with writing or whatever. So we were doing a couple scenes, like how I would say things, you know, on a fire, and then just how we would do things. Or I was showing him some some pictures of like what the gear looks like when it's burned up, and he's like, man, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, man. I mean, there were a couple fires I was in that, like, I got burned, and dude, I don't ever want to get burned again. You know, it's insane. So this should be a pretty cool film, and it's cool because Andre's there to help me and support, you know, what I show him or what we do, and if he's needed or whatever. So it should be pretty cool, man.
That's a trip. How you're doing a horror film, you're testing the waters, and like you said, you don't like horror films because you get scared easily. So what makes you so scared of, you know, sitting down watching a crazy horror film? What do you not like about horror?
I guess it's just the reality of a lot of them. I'm like, man, that could really happen, or, you know, I don't know. I just never liked them even as a kid. It's just, I don't know. But I really want to do this. I'm really excited about it, so it should be pretty cool.
So you know? Do you think you'll do more horror films after Skin Deep, in your opinion?
Man, you never know. I'm always up for whatever, you know. There's so many things I'd love to try. You know, after we do this, who knows? I'm up for whatever, you know. I mean, I love being a fireman. It's been an amazing career. I've done and been afforded so many good things, but my body's broken, and I really, really love acting. I've been afforded a couple of really cool roles that have made me go outside what I normally do as Santa. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Skin Deep, I think, is going to be amazing. I think it's a great concept, and I think he's got something good going. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody offers it to me and it sounds good, I don't just want to do things to do things. I think if it sounds good, then cool. You know, I don't think you just do things because, you know, I think it has to definitely fit your personality. I think this one's definitely going to fit my personality. So, we'll see. I mean, but like I was telling you earlier, you know, at the same time, if I could get the right representation, if I could do Christmas movies and Christmas commercials and ads the rest of my life, I'm okay with that too, you know. So it's kind of my forte.
Who knows? Maybe in the near future you'll be in a Hallmark movie as a Hallmark Santa.
I wouldn't mind that, you know. I'm pretty blessed with my social media. You know, I do have a couple people that I follow, and they follow me back, and they do the Hallmark and GAC movies, and that would be a nice little gig, you know. But I'm up for whatever. I just like doing it. It's nice. It's, like I said, you know, it's a different world than what I live at the firehouse. So, you know.
Shoot, you can write a book about your adventures in firefighting, in acting, and playing Santa.
Well, you never know. I know my boy Andre and we have a couple things that we're trying to do. We have definitely a firefighter drama script that we're trying to work out, and we have a Christmas movie that we've worked on. So we'll see what happens, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, just the way that I became Santa and the business. I mean, that's a story in itself. You know, I wish I could get somebody to pick that up. So, you know.
So everywhere you go, you know, when you're not fighting fires and you're like, you know, in your hometown walking around, do you have a lot of people call you Santa?
So, yeah, so it's funny, you know, like at work, back in the old days, no one ever really called me Dave. My nickname was Moose. And I don't even know why that started. It started years ago when I played hockey as a kid. And it just translated over when I was in the fire department. But now, the Santa thing's become so big that everybody either calls me Santa or Santa Dave. And Moose has kind of gone to the wayside, which is fine. You know, I'm getting old. So, I mean, I'm 49. I'm not that old, but so, yeah. And when I'm out and about, I get most people are like, "Hey, Santa, what's up?" You know, so it's kind of funny, you know. I was even at the gym. I do go to the gym every day, try to stay in shape for the job. And this guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're Santa, right?" I was on the treadmill. I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Why are you so thin, man?" I said, "Well, you know, I am a firefighter. I try to stay in shape, man." He's like, "You gotta get fatter." So I was laughing about that.
You know, you should go like this. You better be careful. I'll put a lump of coal in your stocking.
That's right.
I'm watching you.
That's right.
I know what gym you work out now, buddy. You better be good.
That's right. That's right.
So,
yeah, that's pretty good.
So how many Santa suits do you own, and do you make your own Santa suits?
So I've been pretty lucky. Obviously, when I started out, you know, I went with what I could afford, but I try really hard to. I have a woman, a seamstress that makes my shirts for me. Like I button up shirts, and then I've had several different seamstresses that have made my suits. So I have, let's see, like 5 different suits or 4. I guess about 5 different suits that I can give you different looks with that are all handmade, custom made, and I didn't get any made last year or this year. I just financially couldn't do it. I mean, they were really expensive, so I try to save up. But I'll try to get one next year. And then I had a shoe cobbler. He was awesome. He made my boots, and he's made me like 5 pair of either shoes or boots. And he was out in Michigan. So I called him this year, and I wanted a new pair of boots made, and he's like, "Oh, you caught me just in time. I'm retiring." And I was devastated. I was like, "What am I going to do?" You know, like, who do I go to now? But yeah, everything I get is custom made. My belts, my suits, my shirts, everything. So I try to be authentic. I try to give people good, different looks and whatever they want. Like even when I go out at Christmas, I try to every day have a different shirt because I can take my jacket off and have a shirt. So I try to give people a good look.
So does your son have a custom made elf outfit when he goes out with you?
So he did, yeah. We looked good, man. We had matching suits, he had matching shirts. He doesn't do it with me anymore, but he did it for quite a few years. It was awesome. Whenever he did an event with me, I'd split it with him 50-50, and he saved his money up, and that's how he bought his first truck.
Oh, that's pretty awesome! Getting his first truck, yeah. Being part of the world of Santa Claus.
Yeah, man, it wasn't bad. It's he saved his money and was able to get a lot of things.
That's pretty awesome. You were mentioning commercials. So, were you doing commercials as Santa Claus?
I was. Yeah, the first time we did like a commercial for a local mall, and then I started doing some local stuff up in the Lancaster County area, and then, like I said, I did a video for a church, which ended up being like a mega church, but it was pretty cool video. And then a couple years ago, I got really lucky. There was a Christmas movie called Christmas versus the Walters, and it was a great movie. And they asked me if I would help them with it on like a social media commercial. So I did that, and that was great, because it was a great commercial, but like thousands and thousands of people saw the video online. So they saw me, which was great, so it kind of helped me out.
Yeah. I was on social media and, you were giving me a shout out about coming on the podcast tonight. And then one of my friends, Dustin, thought you were in a certain film. And then you said it was Mick. Who's Mick?
Yeah. So that's funny. So before I went to Santa school, Mick had done that video he was talking, or that movie that he was talking about.
Okay.
And it's funny because Mick actually went to the Santa school I went to. That's how I met Mick. He's a great guy. He actually sent my son Hunter his first elf suit. He was such a great guy. I don't get to talk to him often. Every once in a while, like there was a couple years ago, he was doing an event, wrestling event in PA. And I saw him at that, but he's such a nice dude. He loves Christmas, and a lot of people didn't realize that. Like he would go to wrestling matches, and they'd be in the locker room, and guys would have their music on. He's like, "Hey, you mind if I put something on?" And he'd put Christmas music on. But he loves Christmas. He's a good Santa. He does. He does a great job.
That's wild. Is he a pro wrestler?
I'm sorry?
Is he a pro wrestler?
Yeah, Mick Foley. Yep, he did. Sacco and
yeah, I know who you're. So you're talking about Mick Foley. I thought you were talking about a different Mick. Yeah. I know who Mick Foley is, and
he was talking about Mick Foley. Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was talking about a guy named Mick. I knew because Mick Foley is big in the Christmas. I mean, he loves it.
Oh yeah, and such a good dude, man. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It was funny.
So you guys went to the same Santa school. So did you guys hit it off and joked a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm best friends with him or got to hang out with him often or anything like that. But he's just a really nice guy, you know. Yeah, and he did. He's just a genuinely nice guy, you know.
So, did he have Mr. Sacco with him?
No.
To make it Christmas? That's wild, man. So, where can everybody find you on social media?
So I'm all over. And if you just look up either Santa Department 25, or sometimes I abbreviate it at SANTADEPT25. But I'm on Instagram's my big hit. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I'm on Cameo if you want a video sent out to you. Yeah, whatever. You know, I've got an IMDb page now, obviously. And my IMDb page is just David P. Saunders. But yeah, I'm pretty much all over everything. You know, if you want something, I can pretty much do it. So. All
right. I want another ho ho ho, but I want a real authentic ho ho. On the beginning, you didn't do it. I want a ho ho ho. Come on.
Ho ho ho.
Okay, that works, man. Because when we started the show, it was kind of weak, man. I wanted that ho ho ho.
I apologize. It was. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. But how about you? I appreciate it. How long have you been doing this podcast? This is awesome.
Oh man, I've been doing this podcasting for about 3 years, man.
That's great. That's great.
I love it. It's fun. I like to meet new people, and I'm blessed to have some great people that come on to the show because I support indie film and indie filmmakers and actresses. And they're the heart and soul of, movie making. I mean, you got the big mainstream, films. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some bad indie films. There's some good indie films. But the thing I respect about indie filmmakers, most of the stories they do are like genuine original, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears in it, that's why I love indie films. Of course, indie horror.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm really looking forward to doing Skin Deep, and I know it's going to take a lot, and a lot of effort. We both work. I'm sure everybody's going to be in the cast is going to be working. It's hard to get around everybody's schedule, and like I talk about my buddy Andre all the time. He's got so many scripts, and it took so much just to get Necropolis done. But people don't realize how hard it is. Guys at work would be like, "You guys didn't get that done yet?" I'm like, "Dude, it's so hard to get the money, to get the locations." But people work really hard, and I don't think people realize how many indie filmmakers there are out there trying to do something. And it's awesome to see guys really trying to make something of themselves. So I think that's great you're doing this. I appreciate that.
Yeah, me too. And one of these days, I'm going to have to come up for a visit, and I'm going to ride in that fire truck and play with that siren.
Dude, anytime, bro. Come on up, man. You'd love it up here. It's a great little place where I live. Like I said, we're like 30 minutes from Philly, like hour from Baltimore, 2 hours from New York. I work in Virginia, which is 2 hours from here. Like I said, Bruce Willis grew up in the town next to me. We're pretty lucky, man. We have a lot of cool stuff around here. So
I just want to play with that siren.
Anytime. You gotta get mad at me because I'm a lieutenant on the truck, so I wail that thing. I don't let off. And they're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Because I can, man. It's so cool."
Yeah, I am because I'm a lieutenant, and then my alter ego, I'm a super Santa. So what's your point?
That's right, man. Yeah, what the heck?
I definitely will. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. You were a blast.
Oh, dude, are you kidding? I appreciate you so much. It means the world to me that people reach out to me and just talk to me. And I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me on and letting me mention what I'm doing and talking about, Skin Deep and all the Christmas stuff, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody have a great evening, and thank you for listening to Horror Pop After